Look, Siegfried, I've told you, you are not an oppressed minority group. Just because you wear lederhosen and stand in that bloody nightclub in the village called Das Jackboot singing Tomorrow Belongs to Me does not make you Hitler Youth. And you're not oppressed. You've got a job. Now try and do it. Hello. As promised, I said I'd come back and talk to you a little bit about antique shows. Oh dear. Now, they fall into a couple of categories. A couple of them are kind of game shows where they give them money and they go around and buy old tush and put it into auction and try and make some money. And the other sort are semi-informative. But before I get into that, there is a sadness I have to impart to you. Do you remember Drew Pritchard? He has a program called Salvage Hunters. And I've got a lot of time for Drew Pritchard. He's been banging on for years about patina and getting just the right thing, and it has to be in good condition and it mustn't be heavily restored, and I've got a lot of time for that. And his restorers, I mean, the Salvage Hunters Restorers program is just terrific, and I have a lot of time for it. He's got a new show, and in that, unfortunately, he's got new teeth. Now, there's nothing wrong with having new teeth. You see mine, these are lovely, aren't they? Just right for an old chap like me. Unfortunately, he hasn't taken his own advice. He's given himself the most amazing white Tippex teeth. He looks more like Tom Cruise than Tom Jones. I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, they flash whiter than Emma Raducanu's plimsolls. I mean, they are so white, it's unbelievable. And brand new. And quite frankly, he should be following his own advice. And his sidekick T, who, is all right. I mean, he drives the van and he's like the porter. He's now grown his hair long, which is kind of mousy grey and a little bit he's washing. Could do with a bit of shampoo. And this long beard, he looks like a cross between a vagrant and a mass murderer. I mean, what's going on down there in Conway? I mean, we've got a Tom Cruise lookalike with the most amazing Tippex teeth running around with a knife man or an axe man. Most odd. I'll watch it, and of course, I'm afraid I shall be chuckling along when he's saying everything should have the right patina. I'm thinking, yes, shame your dentist didn't know about that, mate. Ha ha ha. Anyway, now let's talk about antique shows, shall we? The other category of antique show is, and I think most of these antique shows are actually directed by people who used to be in children's television. I'll explain why. Let's take Bargain Hunt. Now, two teams, they give them these ghastly sort of fleeces in red and for one team and blue for another. And they go off with a supposed expert and spend 300 quid or the best part of it. And we see at the end who's got the most money, which is fine, jolly good. And they go around these antique fairs and jumble sales and boot fairs and pick up stuff, which is all right, But we then get to the bit where they spent their money, the expert's gone off to find whatever he's going to buy with the residue. And the presenter then says, now, you mustn't tell the other team how much money you've made. And you think, why not? I mean, does it matter? But everybody plays along with it. And they go, swear you to secrecy. And these people, grown people, are going like that. My lips are sealed. I've zipped my lip. Doing the actions. Come on. It's not junior school. Please. So then we go through the whole charade of both teams have now done their bit, and they're standing in front of the presenter, and she says, well, now the expert's going to get their purchase for you to look at. Close your eyes. So these bloody people then go like this, I've got my eyes closed, miss. I'll put my hands over my eyes so I can't see. What the hell for? He's only going to stand over there and pick something up and come back and go, that's what I bought. Oh, we've got to have a surprise. Oh, look, isn't that wonderful? How much you pay for that? What's it worth? Who gives a shit? Jesus Christ. I mean, these people really. And at the end, they all do a little kick. Isn't that sweet? Oh, that's bargain hunt. Then we've got Dickinson's Real Deal. Have you watched that? It's in the afternoon. My goodness. The eternally mahogany veneered David Dickinson, who runs this raffle, where he says, and today we're giving away £100,000. You heard right. No, you're not giving anything away. You're redistributing the subscriptions you get in from the listeners who are gullible enough to fall for this nonsense. I'm giving away. No, you're not. So, they come along and they see an expert, and the expert doesn't have enough money, and they go, I'm going to go to auction. So the veneered one stands beside them in the auction room. You're there watching on television, and the auctioneer goes, £10. David Dickinson then repeats it. £10. £15. £15. £20. We can hear. Dickinson, we're not stupid. We're watching the same as everybody else is, including the bloke you're telling. Why are you telling him? He can hear too. You keep repeating it. Oh, great. Well, there's commission to take off that. Yeah, we know. You say it every time, 3 or 4 times a series, a program. Oh dear. Anyway, there we are, tiresome. Then there's another one called Flog It. Flog It, you get a slightly better class of drunk. I mean, expert on there, and it's all right. But Paul Martin is a little bit simpering, and at the end he says, "What are you going to put the money towards when they've sold something at auction?" What? Who cares? They've only ever got a couple of answers, one of which is, I'm going to put the money to my grandchildren for their holidays, or I'm going on a road trip up to Cleethorpes or something, The right answer is, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the money towards recreational drugs and prostitutes. But nobody ever says that. Or, even better, mind your own business. That would be better than that, wouldn't it? What are you going to put the money towards? Nobody cares. Jesus. And what's the other one? There's one more tiresome little show. I can't think of the name of it for a minute. I'm losing the will to live here. Anyway, that's Antiques Roadshow. Antiques Roadshow, that's another thing entirely. That's a little bit more upmarket, a bit middle class, It's all right, posh stately homes and all that. And, Auntie left you that, did they? Well, it's worth £100,000. And they go, oh, all right. But that's Antiques Roadshow. Then there's the Antiques Road Trip, where the experts go off with celebrities. Oh dear, everybody's so happy. Everybody's so pleased to see each other. They're all kissing and hugging and, ooh, God, they're such lovies. That's a bit tiresome too. Anyway, that's enough from me. That's antique shows. I don't like them particularly, but there we are. I like antiques. Don't like watching these people. We're going to spend the money on. Oh, I want to go and see the Northern Lights. Do you? Really? Have you seen the Northern Lights before? No, you want to spend 500 quid going to some far-flung part of the world to see the Northern Lights. Well, I promise you, you'll look at it for 5 minutes and you'll go, oh yeah, it's a bit like it is on the movies, isn't it? And that's it. That is it. It's the same. Don't bother. Or, oh, I'm going to Las Vegas. That's the other one. Jesus, have you ever been to Las Vegas? What a sad little place that is, full of sad people who all think they're so fucking important and they're not. Jesus, what are you going to spend the money on? Well, I'm off. Do subscribe. There'll be a little button in the corner if you like what I'm saying. And I'll come and talk to you tomorrow if you like. Suit yourself. Send me a comment if you wish. If it's rude, I might read it out. If it's abusive, I'll definitely read it out. And I look forward to hearing from you all. Ta-ra.